Welcome to Internal System Support's training video for the NOVAtime Time and Attendance system. NOVAtime is a web-based time and attendance application that can be accessed from anywhere in the world using an internet-enabled device. LACOE employees are required to use the NOVAtime website to handle all of their attendance-related needs. This video presentation will cover the following topics: logging into NOVAtime, recording punches, requesting time off, handling denied or declined requests, managing your timesheet, submitting your timesheet for approval, and checking leave balances. You can easily navigate to any of these topics at any time. Just click the Table of Contents icon found on the lower right of the navigation bar, then click your desired topic on the Table of Contents displayed to the left side of the video. NOVAtime can be accessed through a web browser, such as Internet Explorer, by three main avenues: through the LACOE MyID website, a direct link in an email notification, or using a kiosk system. All three methods require your MyID UPN and passphrase for authentication. If you need assistance with your MyID UPN and passphrase, please contact the LACOE Help Desk. They can be reached at 562-922-6646 or emailing helpdesk@lacoe.edu. When accessing NOVAtime through the LACOE MyID website, open a web browser and navigate to myid.lacoe.edu. After logging in using your UPN and passphrase, click on My Applications. All employees have access to the NOVAtime Employee Web Services link, where you can view and edit your timesheet, request time off, review accrual balances, and perform other attendance-related activities. Hourly employees will have a secondary link labeled NOVAtime Hourly Employee Punch. This link is used to punch or record the start and end times of your working hours. We will cover punches in more detail in the next section. Salaried or non-hourly employees are not required to record their normal working hours, so they do not have a punch link. The links in MyID are designed to automatically log you into NOVAtime or automatically execute the punch command when clicked. Clicking the NOVAtime Employee Web Services link will open the Employee Web Services site. Employee Web Services is split between two main categories: the Attendance category and the Scheduler category. The Attendance category contains information about your timesheet, schedules, accrual balances, and history. The Scheduler category is only available to salaried employees who accrue leave time. This category handles all employee requests for time off and leave reporting, such as vacations, illness, jury duty, personal necessity, and the like. In other words, this replaces the old paper absence claim used in the past. When accessing NOVAtime through an email notification, after clicking the link and opening it in a web browser, input your MyID and passphrase at the login screen and click Employee Web Services to log into the website. The third way you can access the NOVAtime website is through a kiosk. Kiosks are public computers or terminals found in break rooms or entrances at the Ed Center and Ed Center West buildings that are restricted to NOVAtime use only. You can ask the security desk upon entering the building where to access the nearest NOVAtime kiosk. Kiosk systems will be open to the NOVAtime login screen. To access Employee Web Services, input your MyID UPN and passphrase, and then click on the Employee Web Services button. As an hourly employee, you will be required to record your working hours and account for your meal break or lunch by recording a punch on the NOVAtime application. This means if you work from 8 to 5 and take a 1-hour lunch break from 12 to 1, you will be punching 4 times a day: at 8 a.m. for the beginning of your workday, at 12 p.m. when you leave for lunch, at 1 p.m. when you return from lunch, and at 5 p.m. at the end of your workday. There are two places you can record your punches. One is through a computer or other internet-enabled device by accessing the MyID website, and the second is utilizing a kiosk located in one of the Ed Center buildings. To record a punch through the MyID website, open an internet browser and navigate to myid.lacoe.edu and log in using your MyID UPN and passphrase. Go to My Applications and then click on the NOVAtime Hourly Employee Punch link. MyID will execute the punch command for you, and NOVAtime will record the punch and briefly display an acknowledgement message that your punch has been recorded. You do not need to click any other buttons on this screen. Please note that NOVAtime only records one punch within a 10-minute period to avoid accidental double punches. If you happen to hit the punch link twice within 10 minutes, NOVAtime will only record the first punch. When you are finished recording your punch, please be sure to close out the NOVAtime website by closing the new tab that was opened, as you will need to use the NOVAtime Hourly Employee Punch link in the MyID website to record future punches. You can then log out of MyID by clicking the Log Out button. Alternatively, you can use a kiosk system to record your punch on the NOVAtime website. As kiosks will be open to the NOVAtime login screen, input your MyID UPN and passphrase, then click the punch icon to record your punch. The system will briefly display an acknowledgement message that your punch has been recorded. The punch button only records time on your primary position. If you have additional positions you are reporting, you will need to log into Employee Web Services to edit your timesheet in order to report time on additional positions assigned to you. Please view the Managing Timesheets section of this video for further instruction on how to accomplish this. Requesting time off is handled in Employee Web Services under the Scheduler category. Access to this area depends on your bargaining unit and if you accrue vacation and sick leave. After logging into NOVAtime, navigate to the Scheduler in the upper left section of the screen and click on Requests. The Requests page is broken down into 3 steps. Please complete each step in order. In Step 1, enter the name for your time off request. Then, select the request type by selecting it from the Select Request Type drop-down menu. For this example, we will make a vacation request. If you are reporting an absence such as illness, jury duty, personal necessity, or the like, you can also choose it from this drop-down box. Next, select Start and End dates by clicking on the calendar icons. If you need, you can also enter a note for your supervisor in the Notes area. After clicking the Refresh button, the grid in Step 2 will populate with information about your request. Also, balances in Step 3 will be updated according to your available leave balances based on your selected request type. You can view these balances in hours or days by toggling between the 2 radio buttons. By default, your time off request will be designated as a full day request and the Edit Hours checkbox will be selected. If your time off request is for less than a full day, deselect the Edit Hours checkbox next to each day that should be a partial day and enter start and end times for your request. You can enter times using a 24-hour or 12-hour format. Just be sure to indicate an A for AM or P for PM when using a 12-hour format. Once you have completed each step of the request form and are ready to submit your request for approval, click the Save and Submit button in Step 3. Your supervisor will be notified of your request, and the Time Off History section at the bottom of the page will now show your request with the status of pending. Once submitted for approval, you will have 3 available actions to you: Cancel Request, Edit Request, and Send Reminder. The Cancel Request icon will remove the request, but it will remain listed in your Time Off History page. Clicking the Edit Request icon will only allow you to edit the times within the day of your request and note fields. If you need to change the day of your request, you will need to cancel the request and make a new request by clicking the Create New Time Off Request button. The Send Reminder icon will send an email reminder to your supervisor of your pending request. Furthermore, only approved requests within a current or future pay period will be available for edit or cancellation. Once your timesheet for a prior pay period has been processed for payroll, requests within that period can no longer be edited or canceled. After you have submitted your time off request, your supervisor will receive an email and system message indicating that a request has been submitted for his or her approval. Your supervisor will have the ability to approve, deny, or remove the request. However, LACOE will not use the Remove feature. Assuming that your supervisor has approved your request for time off, the next time you log into Employee Web Services, you will see a pop-up window notifying you of new messages. Click OK to be taken to the message board. You can also navigate to the new messages by clicking on the flashing mail icon in the upper right corner of the screen. New messages are highlighted in bold text. Clicking on the message type will take you to the message detail page that contains information about the approval or denial of your time off request. Since this time off request has been approved, it will now be reflected in your timesheet and accruals history. We will cover these areas later in the Managing Timesheet and Checking Leave Balance portions of this video. Pending and approved time off requests can be edited so long as the current pay period is still open. For example, let's say you were approved for a day off, but your plans changed and you will be coming in after all and need to cancel your time off request. You can do this by navigating to Scheduler, Requests, then finding the request you wish to cancel on the lower portion of the screen. Then, in the Available Actions column, click the red X icon to cancel the claim. You will receive a prompt where you can compose a message to your supervisor requesting that your time off request be canceled. Once your supervisor has approved your request, then the approved time off request will be removed from your timesheet and accrual history. Claims that have not been approved can be canceled without having to submit a request. If you wish to edit the claim rather than cancel it, you can click the blue Edit icon. You can change notes and times of your request, but you will be unable to change the request type and days associated with it. If you need to change the day of a request, then you will need to create a new request by clicking on the Create New Time Off Request button. If your supervisor has denied your request, the next time you log into Employee Web Services, you will see a pop-up message stating that you have messages waiting to be read. Click OK to navigate to the message board. Then click on the message type of the new message to be taken to the message detail page where you can review the request and any feedback given by your supervisor. Denied requests cannot be edited or resubmitted for approval. Also, denied days that were part of a multi-day request cannot be resubmitted for approval either. In both cases, you will need to create a new time off request for any denied days. You can do this by navigating back to the Scheduler category and then selecting Requests. A history of your request will be listed on the lower half of the page. When ready, click the Create New Time Off Request button to build and submit a new time off request. When you first log into Employee Web Services, you are presented with the Attendance Timesheets section. The Timesheets tab is comprised of your timesheet, displayed by pay period. You can change the selection by utilizing the available drop-down filter at the top of the page. The timesheet status will let you know what level of approval your timesheet is in. Clicking on the magnifying glass will display approval history associated with this pay period's timesheet. Below the timesheet section is a weekly summary of your work hours, a timesheet summary of your work hours by pay code, and a summary of your accrual balances, if applicable. Only hourly and non-exempt employees may edit the timesheet. Exempt employees, such as those in Bargaining Unit MM, are not allowed to edit the timesheet. Also, employees are only allowed to edit, delete, or add line items with pay code work hours. All other pay codes have been restricted from employees. Hourly employees, those in Bargaining Unit EE, who have a meal break, will have 2 line references per day for their work hours. One line with in and out reference times before your meal break, and another line with in and out references after your meal break. Non-exempt employees, such as SEIU employees, will only report exceptions to their normal scheduled working hours, such as straight time, overtime, and double time. Normal scheduled working hours are not recorded on the timesheet. Any time recorded on the timesheet goes straight into overtime, so please do not report any of your normal scheduled working hours on the timesheet. To edit a working hours line item on your timesheet, simply click on the field of the line you wish to edit and make your changes. Any saved changes will add a timesheet audit trail note to your timesheet. To delete a line item, click any field on that line and click the delete icon. This will remove it from your timesheet. If you need to add time to your timesheet, click a blank line and fill in the date, select pay code work hours, and then record your in and out times using either a 24-hour format or a 12-hour format using A for AM and P for PM. For hourly employees, when adding time, please remember that you need to manually account for your meal breaks. This means you will need to create 2 separate line items for each day's work. Non-exempt employees should only be reporting time outside of their normally scheduled work hours. You are not required to select a position, as the system will automatically default you to your primary position. If you are recording time for an alternate position, please click the position field, then click the magnifying glass and select the alternate position. If needed, you can add notes by clicking in the space of the Notes field, adding your note and clicking OK. When you have finished editing the timesheet, please click the Save icon to save your changes. The system will automatically assign hours to regular or overtime buckets as applicable. Please be sure to click the Save icon, as changes will not be saved until you click it. Only hourly employees are required to submit their timesheets. Salaried employees do not submit their own timesheets. Instead, timekeepers review, approve, and submit salaried employees' timesheets for review and approval by time report managers and payroll. So instructions contained in this section on how to submit your own timesheet only apply to hourly employees. All timesheets are reviewed and approved through an approval process based upon who you report your attendance to. After submitting your timesheet, it is first viewed and approved by your timekeeper, then your time report manager, and finally a payroll manager, where it is processed for payroll. Submitting timesheets is a very simple process. If you're an hourly employee and are ready to submit your timesheet, after logging into NOVAtime, you will be presented with the Timesheet tab. At the top of this page, to the right of the timesheet status, you will see an icon labeled Submit. Clicking the Submit icon will send your timesheet to the timekeeper in order to begin the timesheet approval process. You will no longer be able to make any changes to your timesheet after it has been submitted for approval. It is very important that you submit your timesheet. Failure to submit your timesheet in a timely manner will result in delays of your timesheet being processed for payroll. In other words, you will not get paid if you do not submit your timesheet. If you have further questions regarding payroll processing dates, please contact the payroll department. Only salaried employees accrue leave balances, such as vacation, illness, and personal necessity. NOVAtime allows you to check these balances in real time. To check your current leave balances, after logging into the NOVAtime Employee Web Services website, navigate to the Attendance category and click on the Accruals tab. Here you will find accrual history, summaries, and transaction details listed by pay code. All summaries display current balances as of the last action performed affecting any leave balance. You can sort and filter transactions by using the available drop-down boxes at the top of the table. Clicking on the plus or negative sign to the left of each pay code expands or contracts details associated with the displayed summaries. The details are broken down into several columns of data, including post date, code used, type of post, available balance calculation breakdown, date activity was started, and notes associated with the line. For post types, T stands for terminal or computer terminal, such as when your supervisor approves a vacation request from their computer. S is for the system-generated postings. NOVAtime generates these posts automatically according to the accrual rules of your bargaining unit. Data imported into the system by an administrator is represented by the plus sign. When NOVAtime first goes live, all salaried employees will have their current balances imported into NOVAtime, so you should see this line displayed with your balances as of the imported date. The hours column is for any time added to your accruals by the system. Carry hours is the available balance from the next line. Used is for any accrual time used by the employee, such as taking a vacation or using illness. Adjust is for administrative adjustments. Earned is not used by LACOE, and available balance is the sum of the hours, carry hours, and adjusted columns, minus any used hours. Any line noted as usage can be directly referenced back to a corresponding record on the timesheet. Comparing the two, you can see how vacation used on this day is reflected on the accruals. Any submitted time off requests that have not been approved by your supervisor are not reflected on the timesheet or accruals tab. Only once they have been approved, then they will be recorded on your timesheet and accruals. Leave codes such as personal necessity, personal discretionary, and maternity all draw from your available illness leave. So these types of codes will be recorded under the illness category with a note describing what leave pay code was used. If you have questions or concerns about your available balances, please contact the payroll department and they can assist you. This concludes our employee training video on how to use the NOVAtime time and attendance system. By logging on to the employee intranet, you can find additional training videos, classroom instruction schedules, and user manuals. After logging in, you can view our schedule of classes by choosing ISS Training from the list of categories on the staff calendar. On the left side menu, you can also navigate to Business Services, then Internal System Support to list our available online resources, such as user manuals, training guides, and security application forms. Additional training videos can be found by clicking on ISS Training Videos under the Internal System Support menu item. For payroll concerns or issues, please contact the payroll department by emailing abdpayroll@lacoe.edu. If you need help using the NOVAtime website, please contact Internal System Support by emailing internalsystemsupport@lacoe.edu and we will assist you.